My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com.
Amtrak, license P802829. As you can see in the image, crossing path, and doing so because that sex offender wants to touch me, and that's exactly what they're doing, molesting my person with directed light. As they turn the corner, proceed to drive north on Euclid Avenue at 8:33 a.m. And this is exactly where the fake sun is. And you see these two third parties that are engaging in surveillance at the bus stop. This is the old African-American male with the beard, the mustache, and 6E69318. And the male with the blue cap on, the blue hoodie, they're sex offenders as well, while Amtrak is the means of touching me, and while they are sitting around as though they're just passerbys. This is the code of conduct by the demon-possessed who are monitoring you all together. All right, so as I capture still images of that, Amtrak comes right around the corner, engaging in what is the sexual violence that Amtrak likes to engage in. Amtrak as a company of violent sex offender. On Amtrak train tracks, ongoing sexual violence, while I'm being molested all night at the museum. 8WAN918 and Union Pacific uses Amtrak's train tracks to engage in what is entirely demented terrorism, in other words, while a sex offense is underway. That's also how Amtrak is going to be prosecuted, in addition to what are demons operating those vehicles with the Amtrak logo on it in order to engage in what is molesting someone. And that's exactly what they just did right now. On behalf of the state, 7NOE529, 5XAK188. I don't know why it says out of service. What? Why is it? Is it out of service? Oh, no. Oh. Okay. Go ahead, Minion. No, you go ahead.
83? 84? 83?
This is 83 or 84? Oh. So why y'all talking about 84? Nobody said anything about 84. You did. All right, it's 8:35 a.m.
Stop requested.
All right, it is 8:36 a.m. City of Ontario engaging in surveillance, sitting in their utility trucks lining the path. And City of Ontario was also engaged in the P.O.C. They had a white pickup truck in the middle of Euclid where I was reading license plates, 8TQA878, 8YPP027, Pioneer Trucking, license 9F45627. And they're part of that same molestation. Okay, 8BJG805, SoCal Gas, license 7PHU564, 8TBR971, 7JXK928 is the one I read. They're up here at G Street. License 8TQ, I read that one already. And 8TFZ559, that's a Latino male wearing a black cap. Group stalking 8JUV695. And this is at El Pescador, the intersection of G Street and Euclid, the Blink Fitness Plaza, the Bank of America at 735 Euclid Avenue. The people of the state using that as a venue, well, they're minions, using it as a venue. They're stalking the path with light, patrolling in and out through the drive-thru. Understand this is group stalking that's underway. And the entity's keeping a fake sun over me. Again, that Bank of America is at 735 Euclid Avenue. American Inn, intersection of H Street, that's where I'm at. That's where the entity's keeping the fake sun in alignment with the bus going northbound now. And it's 8:38 a.m. BJL629. And that is out of state. I can't see what state that is though. That's an out-of-state license plate. at I Street in Euclid, 82178U2. So I read that one earlier, I believe, and you're talking about what is crossing path again. 7UJZ194 molesting, 6XTY069, CC99N47, 6SJF359, $8YHH836. 8CHB928. 5ZHC728. 8YRM017 molesting. These demons are stalking with light while they're driving on the along the driver's side of the bus, while the fake sun is on the passenger side of the bus. You still have what is light that is flashing somehow while they're driving next to the bus, because they're stalking with light. And again, what stalks with light? Demons stalk with light. Those that are group stalking are stalking with light, while the entity keeps directed light inside of a venue or all over a venue, like you saw at the Mestiza Cafe across the street from the United States Post Office. That inexplicable light all around, that's called stalking with light while you are present in that environment. That's why it's there. It's an iteration of the same conduct, stalking with light. It is a direct identifier of the demon possessed. All right, and then out of the mouth, what also identifies Satan? 6HVR469. Out of their mouth, they engage in what is automatic efforts to try to defame. That's a psychopath. I mean, the craziest one of all, trying to defame somebody else that you're stalking. 8B51323. And again, remember, that's the state. 6TIB417. 8TIB 417. That's the state that's engaging in that defamation, and that's a criminal act, a very serious criminal act, and that is a defamation that's serving to facilitate the pattern of conduct. It's also audible activity serving to monitor you. All right, but criminal defamation is a specific act by the entity serving for what is kidnapping and a loss of reputation. The allegations of the targeted individual, it serves multiple purposes, and as I've documented, criminal defamation served what was repeated attempts of kidnapping into a mental ward while the entity was placing under surveillance, to render illegitimate my published documentation that the entity knows I'm publishing. That's why you engage in what is heavy-duty stalking, more so by helicopters and police, and by harassment, kidnapping, and waging a false allegation. That's why they engage in that. That's speaking to specific knowledge. That's what the motive is, by the way, because this is the premature reaction of an entity that knows exactly what I was documenting, and that's why that rise in aggression, as it's illustrated in the P.O.C, occurred immediately as I began documenting what the government has been doing. Criminal defamation is unacceptable conduct by the government, whether it's occurring out of the mouth, again, of a pissant third party on the streets, or a demon-possessed group stalker in a courtroom, okay, in the capacity that it has yet to be removed from. Security paving monitoring, 8D87, I can't see the rest of one. License 7JSW 585 91525D1 58343C3 Coastline Equipment 14152V1. That's Sons and Incorporated, California 5624421. License 1666 9G2. License 69175P1. 7XB 175. 7RFM 514. 8GLU 978. 8CWM 300. 8GVZ. I can't see the rest of them. 7VSD 253. 8CMR 841.
Stop requested.
It's 8:44 a.m. I'm in Upland, California. This bus has been operated by the same employee documented yesterday, David, employee 2366. Terrorizing, molesting with directed light. All right, directed light both on the bus and off the bus. David is that sex offender that's molesting, and that's an impermissible threat by the employee. He's also engaging in group stalking, as I documented on video, on that bus by helicopter. That's license 1404972, bus 1328 that David is operating, doing so as the people of the state, and Omnitron's also representing the people of the state. Understand that's more than one method of documenting that criminal conduct and that actor. And the people of the state. It's more than one way to document the people of the state because it's an entity. 5SYL198. They're also engaging in a molestation. Understand their group stalking relevant position while the entity is molesting me sitting on that bus, getting off of that bus. 7WZU268. The same. They're all engaging in surveillance in the 7-Eleven as I'm on the bus arriving. 8DWK568, sex offender. 289UD, handicap. 8KUB457, sex offenders. Okay. Oh, and sunships in the parking lot. Group stalking. 8X84318. Entering the parking lot. 8DAY075. It is 8:45 a.m. This is P.O.C. at the 7-Eleven at 204 North Euclid Avenue. Excuse me. All right. She's monitoring inside of the 7-Eleven while the entity is aiming impossible light activity into the store. And yeah, I want you to hear. She's group stalking in the 7-Eleven with the employee. It is 8:47 a.m. It is 11:40. Excuse me, it's not 11:43. That's the time on my podcast. It's 8:47 a.m. All right, license 8RVN358. All right, this minion that you see as I read that license plate, as I step out, they are stalking in the path, maintaining presence, and immediately getting out of the car where they're engaging in group stalking while the entity aims directed light inside of the 7-Eleven. And the employee that's group stalking with the employees while the entity is engaging in terrorism. This is 7-Eleven to be prosecuted. The same 7-Eleven, hours from now at the end of the day, where the entity is keeping a fake sun as though the sun is in perfect alignment at the same address and aiming light horizontally through the windows, flashing while demons are opening and closing the doors, and the entity is engaging what is flashing of directed light inside of the 7-Eleven right now. Group stalking via the car wash. 8DWK568, understand that's maintaining presence around me while I'm inside of the store, in the same way as sitting in the parking lot, which 8RVN358, 5JQV284, 8KUB457 are engaging in. It's 8:53 a.m. This is surveillance by a bunch of demons who engage in this ongoing terrorism. And as I've heavily documented, 7-Eleven, the company, and also 7-Eleven in Upland, California, the specific one, this is speaking to that impermissible threat. Okay, that unlawful terrorism that you're subject to, and the entity engaging, there are a bunch of demons doing that. Understand, this is the psychopath, this is demon possession, and they are doing so with knowledge of the fact that you're documented. That's relevant to federal prison. That's exactly why they go to federal prison. Okay, it's 8:53 a.m. All right, third party license plate. And I'm referencing surveillance cameras, group stalking. Oh, let's get this. License 7MLX989. You can see her pausing in the middle of the driveway area. She's maintaining presence. She stops in the middle of the driveway. That's very dangerous, by the way. But let me be clear, they're demons that are acting as one. They know where she's at. That's why they're engaging in such dangerous tactics, which you would never stop in front of a driveway. Anybody could just crash into you, by the way, if they weren't paying attention, if they weren't a bunch of demons that are acting in sync, okay? And in fact, her presence wasn't known. They're monitoring together, and I'm showing you what is an image of this female that's inside of that vehicle with that license plate, group stalking on surveillance cameras. And as I capture an image of that ongoing, that's terrorism, engaging in insisting the people of the state, their criminal conduct insists of essentially insisting on stalking on behalf of the government. The government is subject to federal prison. Government actors are subject to federal prison. The people of the state shall be subject to federal prison. All right? They are determined to engage in stalking with the government, stalking with the state, and also the sex offense that they engage in while they do so. And that includes the employee 8XET911, who you hear him talking to this minion while they're both group stalking, flashing directed light is occurring inside of the store while they're talking about, where's the cake? I can't find the coffee cake house. She was looking for she's looking for some sort of product. She's monitoring psychopaths, okay, with the employee. They're acting as one. It's 8:55 a.m. This is P.O.C. Demons congregated at what is a third-party facilitating venue, the non-church, the Upland First United Methodist. You can see the fake sun over it, and these demons at the grounds waiting for my arrival for crossing a path. 8LSK 801, 7WBM 074. And they're monitoring, by the way, while the entity is terrorizing and molesting with directed light in the parking lot and in the side of the 7-Eleven. This fake church, this Methodist, First United Methodist in Upland, California, is a facilitating venue where they are monitoring a relevant position as well, 8JIM 275. And I did show you what is entirely the light source, the fake sun, that entirety of that object in its central presence in perfect alignment with me at 8:55 a.m. right over that fake church, 7GDP284. All right, the mark of demon possession. All right, the indication of the demon possessed who surround and the criminal system that you're subject to. License plate. Oh, Vaughn's is crossing path. They're engaging in the sex offense. 4MM. I can't really see that license plate, but that's Vaughn's, Pavilions, Albertsons. That's a commercial vehicle, a large truck, crossing path, group stalking. I'm doing so at 8:56 a.m. $6MDL 903, I believe. $8UDP 126. $7BLH 160. 9ATC 688. $8714OY2. $7SJC 740. $7DKU, I can't know, 7LPX 857, 8MXC 906, 8NZM 077. $00087F3. 8PKG 810 12928A3. That's FedEx. 7UYB 320. 5FRB169, 8AOP781. Okay, demons showing their identity, which is terrorism. You have what light that appears out of nowhere, this orange radiant light, while they drive by in their car. 8UKB824. Okay, that's the directed light, and that's the demonic conduct, which 00087F2 with the minor child is participating in. He's a demon that's stalking, terrorizing with a minor child, in the custody of a minor child, coming from the Upland City Hall, by the way. 8XSU969, or coming from the direction of that building. I'll say that, but I know the Upland City Hall is group stalking. They're monitoring. And it is currently 9 a.m. License plate 7DGB544. Touching with directed light. Light just flashing all over me while they're driving by in a car. 8GTM563. That's a sex offender. 8SBT036. 6TGD565. 6VVN863. CCREINA 46278F2. QMPY88. 5CUA634. RISKMOM 6JQN483, 6ZCD032, 18897W2, 5RAP247. All right, this is sexual violence by the Upland City Hall as well. They're in relevant position monitoring with these demons who are touching with directed light. This is literally the work of Satan. While I'm showing you the inexplicable light, that's how you're witnessing Satan on via that light. This is how they are demonstrating their demon possession as they are touching while driving by in a vehicle. 7YXG870, 8W77959, 7HZS966, 8U54279, ONTFIRE, group stalking at the Ovid Family Community Library under the fake sun, and engaging in that sex offense group stalking at the Upland Public Library under the fake sun at 9:02 a.m. License 8U84067. And it's 9:02 a.m. License GUNPLT 8JUY663, 4NMV333, 8YHZ745, 8HGJ332, 6YMR496, 8PQM658, 8VXH875, 5VBH959, 45077P2, license 8MSH337, 7FEL499. All of them are the same exact condition. There are a bunch of demons touching over and over again in an impossible manner. 8ZEN730203966X2. And this is the ongoing confession, if you will. But it's not just a confession. It's speaking to what is a pattern. That which is an impossible occurrence occurring over and over again is the establishment of a pattern. 24G, I can't really see that one, is establishing the pattern of stalking with light, 8TDJ392, which is both identification and it is both recognition of the criminal pattern of conduct, 8Z71601. Let's be clear what also was revealed through that. These same demons, as they demonstrated, as they are in the demonic environment, engaging in the demonic behavior, are also demons that are engaging in sexual violence, engaged in surveillance while I'm in the private space of the bathroom, monitoring with the demons that work at the Upland Public Library, 7ZNC783, engaged in surveillance with the employees at the Upland Public Library, 18013F1, I believe, 7PIC792, which is FedEx, 8WFZ868, 8FZX308. That includes the systematic means of group stalking, including companies such as Omnitrans, a very violent sex offender. The companies such as FedEx, crossing path now with directed light under the fake sun. Guess where that fake sun remains all day, as I've documented? Right on this same exact street, okay? And the demon-possessed engage in the same exact conduct, touching with what is directed light. And they are engaging in a sex offense, as I'm documenting it, inside of the private space of the Upland Public Library. 6SXX610. While it is a matter of public information amongst the demon-possessed, possessed while you're physically indisposed, 6 RID 391, engaged in private activity, genitalia exposed. The entity maintains directed light inside of the open public library for that criminal purpose, which is sexual violence by these same demons who are, while I'm outside, demonstrating their condition. There is no exception with regard, as I'm documenting, understand, there is no exception with regard to that demon possession and that sex offense which the people of the state shall be prosecuted for as a matter of justice. 8 HHH 834, 8 VV. 8 VVA 649. They are all the demon possessed. They are all group stalking as one. And that's exactly what they are demonstrating. But again, I've already documented this. Okay. I'm speaking to what is the ongoing consistent pattern of conduct. There is no deviation from it. 5ZEN 144, 8 LAS 780, 8 HGX. Excuse me, 8HXG 651, 8HAU 334, 7TZT 090, EST PAUP. Imperial Dade, license BN 43F39, that's a paper plate. Frontier Communications, crossing path 5LRY 384, 7524 8P1, 5RXT 336, 8FNU 319, 3567 6L2, that's FedEx, that's patrolling. Repeatedly, especially as you read their license plates, Satan repeats engaging in repeatedly using that particular logo. That's what FedEx is engaging in. License plate 8WDN 555. And they're all engaging in what is a demonic orgy, touching all over me. 7GCH 720. All right, and doing so while they are driving by on the street. This is group stalking. And this is the perpetual sex offender that's also placing you under surveillance in the bathroom while your panties are down. That's a very violent sex offender, and that's the reality of what they are doing. That's the reality of their ongoing maintenance of monitoring inside of the private space while they're out here engaging in the conduct of the sex offender molestation while group stalking crossing path. 7 MPU 203, 8 SYE 923. And it's 9:06 a.m. 7 CKA 762, 7 PKD 993. 7YAZ 846, 68106C3, 8MQN 815, 8Y10425, 8RJX 110, 8FTW 689, 55702A3, and 8EOW 323, 6JDF 613, 8HTX 314, 8ZBA 133, 8UFB 737, 6BPW 221, 8LCC 398, 6YYM 032. License 88902H3. License plate 8EEH024. This is a repeated sex offense on behalf of the entirety of the people of the entity, the state of California. All right, it's all attributed to the state of California, which is a sex offender. This is documentation of the vicarious actor, the group stalkers that are the people of the state, violent sex offenders engaging in what is the terrorism of their conduct of stalking, molesting, terrorizing with directed light as the demon-possessed population that they are. This is exactly what the entity was doing inside of 7-Eleven, and this is what they're doing while outside on the streets. 7YDV 721, 8GXL 275, 8FCU 181, 8HGA 827, 8L57565, 8AQH 524, 4HMD 760, 8YBJ 029, 49684D3, 8ZWG 844, 90TW, I believe that's handicap. This demon's license plate is C190TW handicap. 5PVG 257, P116AL. Their third-party facilitating venue where that demon lives is on Euclid Avenue, and they're crossing path molesting with directed light. 5RFX 588, 4359, 8E2 Bell Cab, 8BTV 346, 7YJL 698, 6RDZ 255, 1034K Handicap. The people of the state that reside in relevant position along Euclid Avenue are engaged in this sex offense as well. 69820A3, 7SHH 485, Burtech, group stalking in a commercial vehicle. They're molesting as well. Sex offender, 7NKM 326, Sam's Market 5 on Euclid Avenue. They are monitoring. They're engaged in the sex offense in relevant position. This sex offense is serving for what is facilitation as they're all monitoring together, and that's speaking to what is a sex offense that is engaged in as one together on behalf of the government that is stalking by helicopter. Likes to engage in stalk. This is what the people are doing with that government on behalf of that government. 69549Z1, 8MXL069, 8FSV982. 6ZYA 746, 8LDG 060, 7VBF 334, 5DTH 042, 8GGF 756. Also the Sam's Market on Arrow Highway right here. The Upland City Hall, of course, the San Bernardino County Fire Department, 43134B3, JNF Ready Mix, California 425791, molesting with directed light, 8MEA 044. That is all in relevant position. The San Bernardino County Fire, the Molly Super, the Upland Unified School District. Let me be clear, the 7-Eleven at 204 North Euclid Avenue, they're still monitoring now. I was just inside of that venue, and the entity was aiming directed light, the obsessive stalking conduct, okay? This is what they're doing with light. The obsession is demonstrated through their conduct with light. The obsession is shown with that light activity, RAWR*IS, while they are maintaining presence amongst that light, 7VSU399. 66651G3, and they seek to engage in it in what is supposed to appear normal while I'm capturing video. For example, inside of the Upland Public Library, you see them walking up and down the stairs, coming in and out of doorways, PXOXO, walking all around me. They're demonstrating their obsession. The directed light is all over the walls and the floors. The fake sun is directly over the roof, and they're walking all around, pacing in that engineered light. They are obsessed demons who are group stalking. 8GTV 509, so you need to see that exactly as it is. 8YLB 859, 8SQX 312. They're pacing just like these demons are pacing on Euclid Avenue, molesting repeatedly with directed light, doing so under what is the fake sun, JAQEZ52, doing so while they are listening to me document. That's exactly what they're doing inside of the venues such as Upland Public Library. They are obsessed stalkers. They are entirely engaged in focusing on me every step that they take, everything that they are doing. 7NHC121, and that's what I'm speaking to while I'm capturing the video. Literally while they are walking around, they are monitoring, engaging in an obsessive maintenance of presence, and it is done with a straight face, seeking to appear as though they're just walking up the stairs. Oh, I'm just getting up. I'm just, I'm leaving now. I'm just going to go to the bathroom. They're obsessively stalking and pacing around. That's exactly what's going on the streets. They're pacing in vehicles, molesting with directed light under the fake sun. You need to understand it's the iteration of the same exact pattern of conduct inside of the venue, in the exact same environment, by the way, on behalf of the same exact state of California, who likes to engage in stalking by helicopter. This is the obsessed minions that are the people of the state, the demon-possessed population, very violent sex offenders, psychopath-level stalking. 5LRU647. And as I'm reading the tons of license plates, this is conduct 7ZCM994 to be attributed to the state. A sex offense, each and every single last one of them. 8TTJ359. That's why it is referred to as the perpetual sex offense. All right, and you will translate that into what is a prosecution license plate. 02770E2. 7U10251, 6MIY748, license 53450G3, 27308F1, license plate 8ZNZ489, and you're talking about what is a sex offender, what sort of sex offender, and that's exactly what they are, and that's what they're doing, will send in children to engage in the bidding on behalf of this entity, these demons who are molesting, stalking under the fake sun and directed light, sending in children to engage in sexual violence with them. 8Y39192, so that demon on Euclid Avenue is monitoring while they send in children to run in and out of the bathroom, which is noise creation and engineered light, while the entity sounds sirens in that bathroom stall, sounds the sound of an elevator inside of that bathroom stall. This is what I documented yesterday inside of the Upland Public Library, where at 4:05 p.m. the entity kept the fake sun over the same exact location where the fake sun is present right now. It's 9:14 a.m., but I've been here for a while, and I've already documented well before 9:14 in the morning the presence of the fake sun at that same position at 4:05 p.m. yesterday afternoon, sending in children to engage in sexually violent surveillance, predatory conduct. All right, 7TGY470 is monitoring on Euclid Avenue while they engage in that stalking in the bathroom. 90056U2, BS53K55, paper, LED 9928, Wyoming, that's license plate, 1062982, 7MBU129, 8ZIS 268, 8RNT 342, 8VUV 470, 6MOJ 743. And in the same way that they are demons touching with directed light, AYAC 78 is a demon with ongoing knowledge that my panties are down while they're group stalking. 14752V1 while they are maintaining presence, that is group stalking, using their vehicles, maintaining presence via traffic. 8GBV399 engaging in what is surveillance as I'm inside of the Upland Public Library. And that's how that sex offense is underway. It's massive surveillance. I'm just outside reading license plates of those that are engaging in and have already been documented as engaging in what is a sex offense and the ongoing sex offense that's even underway right now. It continues inside of what is a private space, which is a bathroom, where these obsessed stalkers are maintaining presence, that is stalking in a bathroom. Molesting with directed light is the perpetual sex offense. Stalking in the bathroom is the perpetual sex offense. Engaging in what is surveillance in that private space is the perpetual sex offense. All right. It is 9:15 a.m. License 94055H3, 7VZD299, 8PIU 380, 1604221, ARP0099 Arizona, 5JXX625, 7DRU 996, 8VRG335, 9ADD250. Let's see, license plate 5F84711. It's 9:16 a.m. 7TST274, 7JPT524. RZD356. The people of the state are engaging in a sex offense while the entity aims directed light and you're being molested inside of the venue as well. Just want to be clear. 6GRJ178. It's for their criminal purposes, 42728V1. This is all on behalf of the state of California. 8AKJ012, 8BIE303. The people of the state are stalking, group stalking with the state, and you're understanding how they're going to be prosecuted in the same way. 6TCL173, 7EYS332, 8BXM381, 6V43584, 333KH handicap, 8B51323, 1576914, California exempt. 7HYH805. I want to see this minion driving this California exempt, molesting. That's a demon doing so. No different that she's in a California exempt vehicle blasting Justin Timberlake. 5RXJ548. She's a demented psychopath, a violent sex offender, and a demon-possessed one, monitoring with the people of the state. I captured her image at 9:18 a.m., doing the same thing that the rest of these demons are doing. 8RQP108, 7HYH805, 8RLN950. License 58623A3, 7KLD342. License 8HXG213, 7VNZ872. Metrolink is a part of the same sex offense. Crossing path, audible activity creation. Light activity creation, 7WAF738, 8UPF431, 8BBL587, 568TA handicap, 7DEJ028, 8WSS930, 5ZQS083, 02597F2. And it's currently 9:19 a.m. You can see the images of that demon-possessed group stalker driving a white vehicle with a California exempt license plate that I recited, and then she immediately engages in what is molestation. WXW613, you can see her images. It'll be uploaded to the Google Drive. 92625X2, license 7ZFC668. 4VLA 903. 1178471. That's City of Upland. 8LYK430. SPRBW50. 6NIW818. SVATOS2. Eight XSA429, 87030D3, 8SPV342, 7CPK086, PVL353, 8YCN009, 8JGS579, 8SAB220, I believe, 8FQT862, 8WKM135, 8YPA702, 7Z44201, 8LRN935, 8MKV299, 8MSR996, 8RDG465, 40120V1, 7PKD221, 8NPN550, 7XDN422, 1568493, City of Upland, ALANTR, 7TMN194, 7SEL821, 8Z63962, KIDTAXZ, 6XBP776, 3R47877, 8CBC317, 7WKM204, and it's 9:21 a.m. NA, 9AVR47, 8JFN349, 7JHF912, 8VXJ125. These same demons, this demonic conduct that I'm revealing, this is what they're doing while I'm on a bus. They're stalking. 8UWD925. Pursuing me while I'm on a bus, and you're understanding that they're pursuing me while I'm at the museum, they're pursuing me while I'm in the bathroom. 118641, 7XQT249, and that is known through what is the environment that they are in. Understand, I'm at the Upland Public Library at the same intersection where the fake sun is present at 7:50 in the morning. 7JBB178, that's not the sun, it's at 9:22 a.m. And the fake sun documented still over the roof of the same venue at 4:05 p.m. as I documented yesterday, but even later than that. But we can go through that right there. That's the P.O.C. They are engaging in pursuit. This is stalking, doing so on behalf of the government, also documenting engaging what is heavy-duty stalking using helicopters everywhere that I go. They are stalking, and this is what they're doing everywhere, pursuing me while I'm on the bus, pursuing me while I'm in the bathroom, pursuing me wherever it is I remain during the day, sitting in a library, doing so while they're driving commercial vehicles like SoCal Gas. 53807J3, that's a demon driving a whole commercial vehicle stalking. 6YOF008, 8ZJG494. And you also know that they're stalking because light is touching all over me, which is an impossible occurrence. 42555Y1. When you're just driving by, that's the conduct of the demons. 8JJE315, 8XZZ268. And even under this fake sun, that is speaking to what is the demon-possessed condition that they all share, and is also demonstrated through the directed light conduct. They are at the same exact intersection where the sun would not possibly remain stationary, present at the same address as I documented April 8th, for example, at the intersection of Arrow Highway and Euclid Avenue, where 6UFK652 is engaging in the conduct of a sex offender. 7ZBP055, 6TUE100, 7XFB853, 6LCZ653, 8CSL 633, 7NXA 040, 7YJC 436. And why is that the case? Also recall, as I remained in Ontario and I came from the county building in Ontario and I arrived here after 4 p.m. and I showed you what is the fake sun that was not over the Upland Public Library, which is a matter of common sense. You clearly see it over me in Ontario. It's not remaining over the roof. Of the roof of the Upland Public Library. At the same time, while it's over, no, it's directly over my head where I'm standing, and that's clearly seen. 9AGZ 823, but you have this is the same intersection where I got off the bus and arrived in the evening, and it's here at 9:24 in the morning right now, over the same intersection, where it's not going anywhere. Okay, which is a matter of documentation, the fact that this light source does not go anywhere. 7LNC 062, 8HHM 911, and these are demons that don't go anywhere. They're stalking in that environment. They're molesting in that environment. They're engaging in what is the conduct of the demon possessed, not only present in that demonic environment, but they engage in what is the demonic activity of stalking with light as well. That's what the demon possessed do. That is a very real condition, and that is exactly how you are identifying it. Those who are present, those who live in that environment, it's not just bad luck with regard to where you bought your house. Understand that this is speaking to a condition that is unmistakable, and it is precisely identified. The light source is over the venue. This directed light conduct is occurring because you are a demon where you live in relevant position. 8 DMJ 138 271 LG handicap. License. BF12W38 paper. They are, and it is with respect to, has nothing to do with real estate and the location of, this is a demonic activity which is expansive. And this is the ability to identify it while the people of the state are literally engaging in the conduct of the demon possessed while they're stalking. 6SSR330, and this is what I told you, a demon, they can lie to your face with their mouth, but they cannot lie because they are not able to engage in anything other than what is their demonic conduct. 8SPJ634, they're animals, okay? 8XUY900, and what they do is the truth. They can only lie with their speech, okay? They can only lie by trying to do something that contradicts what the truth about them is, but their conduct, the pattern of conduct, is the truth. All right, 7VQW297, 28798Z2, and that is the truth with regard to what is their conduct, with regard to what is the pattern of conduct that they're engaging with the state. Excuse me, that's what I mean. 8MUE802, 6X85133, 4X62330, 7H20238, 7U98454, 7N34006, stalking with light in the path. License 8VOS551. And you have the people of the state that are over here engaging in what is monitoring with a minor child, not focused on that child at all, stalking somebody else. 22668S1, engaging in a sex offense while in the custody of a child. Alrighty, and that's a group stalker, engaging in what is maintaining presence in the path while a kid is just sitting in front of them, and they are not focused on that child. They are monitoring with a communication device, and they're a violent sex offender while in the custody of a child. That's relevant to the ways in which you will be prosecuting the people of the state. All right, very violent actors, very demented actors, psychopaths, and posing a threat not only to the children that they're around, but also to, again, an American citizen that they're targeting as one. That is license 7GGV701, 7WNN443, 9AMF298, 8VPL179, 7JWR962, 7AFV868, SoCal Sewer and Water, license 59799K2, 7RYK490, 32080J3. 7EEN034. 8AMP515. 6VDC267. 8ULM717. 8RIM072. 7HCN007. 8JJT740, 9AAC191, 7MON134, 5GEZ534, 8ETU092. I think I read those wrong. Yeah. 7R10444, 8L57197, 7RPV482, 7ZPV482, excuse me. And it's 9:29 a.m. $8XLV029, 8ZPR 475, 8AKP506, 6BDL 209, 26428N2, 8MKE 384, 8UZ X446, 8JCS 562. NDY 3471, that's Texas. $8HNR 495, 925RF, handicap. 8REV 379, PFG, that's all that's on that license plate, just PFG. License 6JDW 421, 8VRF 137, 8K69606, 17697Z1, 6Z01855, 8BWD 500, 6UYF 185, 8KBD 667, 7PVK 595, 7UYM 905, 5ZNA 075, 8EJ, I can't really see that one, 7MFL 316, 7MDP 099, excuse me, 6XCX 665, 8XYD 184, 7FEC 211, SXYRT, I can't really see that one, 86578Z2, Henry's Concrete. It's 9:31 a.m. Omnitrans, again, Route 85. They're patrolling on Arrow Highway. They're monitoring as well. $39178Y2, CTW and Designs Incorporated. Sex offender. It's 9:32 a.m. 6CJW 255, 7FML 151, 7UZR 596, 7HCM 088, 5PNN 783, 7NLG 746, 8MZS 529, 7BBV 935, 69129F2, 7YXS 667. Yeah. 6A69734, 8TWZ274, 7FCZ082. $8HZF829. I think I read that one. 6YYM160. 8FOY040. 84623F3. RFA 327, 8CTY 337, I believe, 5REX 672, 5GCV 012 11658J3, 7LZM 401, 7WLN175, 8WGW020, 8YIA594, 8KZF411, 1468813, 8BRK061, 6YOX777, 8LLW192, 7DYH226. Heart 4444S, and remember that's the symbol heart, and then 4444S at 9:34 a.m. CIT 215. Seven WVM 833. 6ZDC 882. 8LNJ 107. 8WYY 178. 7RLF 481. 6RZV 396. 7ROY 679, 6YNB 538, 8YEJ 496, 7SGV 712. All right, this four-eyed sex offender, license plate, 8XNZ 552, 8AVX 465, 7AQE 900, 8KLN 301, 8DEB 269, license plate 40888S2, 7JLN 095, 7RQC 481, capturing video, speaking to the sex offenders that I'm documenting by podcast. And I also captured video of what is the fake sun that's at the same intersection where it's at as I've documented into the evening. Again, especially coming from, for example, as I came from the county building, from the Ovid Family Community Library 48 hours ago, 6URE442. The entity is keeping a fake sun over me in Ontario. And I'm showing you what is an impossibility in every regard. The fake sun is present over me at this intersection where it's present upon my arrival 48 hours ago, well into the afternoon. You're talking about after 4 p.m. All right. And that's documented as a matter of evidence. So that scientific impossibility, in other words, that capturing that demonic is fully published documentation. It is evidence of what the entity is doing, stalking with an environment. And these demons are stalking while they're touching my body with directed light. YYG G5G. YYG G5G, I believe. And these are violent sex offenders that are monitoring documentation. And so this is the sex offender that wants to continue to violate your person while they're listening to you document, in other words, report, like you would any sex offender that wants to then continue sexually violating. That's very violent conduct. And that's what you need to understand when you're analyzing the conduct of the perpetual sex offender that are the demon-possessed population, group stalking with the state. JBW6377, that's a New York license plate. That appears to be an Asian female driving that vehicle, a white SUV. 8DGV754, 65531G3, 4VSS825, CHAVRAV. They are not only captured under what is an impossibility that would ever be the sun, present at the same intersection where I'm documenting my presence at that same exact intersection hours earlier. That is 7:50 in the morning, as I documented August 8, 2022, when I went to DMV, and I captured the pattern of conduct at the DMV, where I remained, and I was capturing at the same time that I captured this video at 9:36 in the morning. I am at 9th Street in Hellman in Rancho Cucamonga, capturing the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department group stalking by helicopter, where the fake sun is over me. That's not the intersection of Euclid and Arrow Highway. That's not occurring at the same time. Those are two distinct locations. You have what is at the same time in two distinct locations, the light source that's squarely above my head. That's the pattern of conduct. While these demons who are in that environment are molesting with directed light, as I've been documenting, reading their license plates, and those sex offenders engaging in what is that ongoing desperate stalking conduct. 7SZA678. That's the significance of the video that I just captured right now. All right. And while they're doing so, the entity is aiming directed light all over, just like you see at the Stater Brothers. I'm showing you direct light. They're just directed light all over. These are the demons that are placing you under surveillance. 1FUTSAL, 6ZIS, 565, aiming it onto the wall of the Upland City Hall. Guess what? Those are demons inside of the Upland City Hall, by the way, and they are monitoring inside of the Upland City Hall. That's why I'm showing you what is a fake sun over that Upland City Hall in the morning and into the evening. All right. This is also while these demons are crossing path, and directed light is reaching all the way across onto the walls of the Upland City Hall. I don't have to go in there and show you video of the faces of those demons that work at the Upland City Hall. This is the prosecution of that aspect of the local government, who I've already specifically documented, by the way, in August of 2019. But they are nonetheless engaging in the pattern of conduct. The P.O.C. is identifying the entirety of that entity. License 6XLX 416, 4SEH 196, PPG 3896, Texas, 7KYP 001. And it's 9:46 a.m. (9:47 a.m.) License plate BG10A70, paper 8TAN 808, 8AWM 446, AS 518, handicap 5L11087, 5VXG 638, 6V60122, 9:47 a.m. C. License plate 9AVR471 is group stalking crossing path again. Already documented that demon. BU55U17, paper. And it's 9:48 a.m. 8PJP444 06554J3. And it is 9:49 a.m. Omnitrans arriving. License 1545906, bus 2349. Again, I am aboard. I don't see the employee number of this bus. It's a Latino male, though, with a beard and a mustache, wearing dark glasses. And it's currently 9:52 a.m. I did board Route 83 at the same intersection where I captured the video of the fake sign over me. And again, the entity engages in a grand departure. It's not going to engage in conduct of remaining in the same place where it does, for example, to be present over the Upper Public Library until 4:05 p.m. Well, after 4:05 p.m., but you're talking about at least until 4:05 p.m. because that's where I captured the light source directly over the roof of that building. The fake sign is moving as I am moving on the bus transportation, public transportation on the street southbound on Euclid Avenue. Leaving as I leave and maintaining perfect alignment in doing so, and going what is again at 9:53 a.m. Southbound on Euclid Avenue. So I want to document that, and that is also again the pattern of conduct that I'm documenting. The demons who are stalking, driving by with directed light while I'm in the 7-Eleven, and directed light is occurring inside of the store while the entity is aiming directed light onto the bus. Okay, this is the pattern of conduct underway. It's 9:53 a.m. This is P.O.C. ZMM900 7YQT130. These are demons touching me with direct light while I'm on the bus, and this is what I mean by pursuing me and stalking as an obsessed demon-possessed entity that they are, impossible light activity while I'm sitting on the bus. That's the group stalker. That is the puppets of Satan. 1566037. That's the people of the state of California. 8WAH292. It's 9:55 a.m. and it's not just those minions off the bus. This bus driver. All right, the people of the state operating the bus, engaging in that sex offense and molestation and group stalking. All right, it is 9:55 a.m. at the Route 83 that's going southbound on Euclid Avenue right now. All right, you're gonna look at this old dirtbag with the pink hoodie on. She's group stalking with the driver. The entity's filling the bus with directed light while she is loitering in relevant position at the front of the bus, monitoring with the minions who are pacing back and forth. Okay, her old wrinkly face and liver spots is no form. She's a minion, and she's group stalking, which is a demon-possessed third-party group stalker with Omnitrans. This is the people of the state monitoring together. This is the same. This is another iteration of the same P.O.C. where I'm documenting inside of 7-Eleven these two minions, the employee that works there, okay, the employee that drives the bus, the employee that works at the 7-Eleven, monitoring with the minions who are inside of the venue making a purchase, the minion that's loitering at the front of the bus purchasing a pass, and directed light. The impossible occurrence of this light activity is occurring. Understand it's an iteration of the same exact P.O.C. They're minions that are monitoring together, minions that are monitoring with the people of the state who are pacing all around while directed light is shooting all around inside of that 7-Eleven, shooting all around inside of this bus, which I've captured video of both instances. It is 9:56 a.m. and this is P.O.C. 8QVC 567. stalking at Stowell and Euclid, 8 CML 699, I believe. All right, the Chevron at 159 Euclid Avenue in Upland, California, 8 KCG 912. Sex offenders monitoring, molesting while I'm on the bus. They're group stalking together. The ARCO 5SGT 569, the ARCO at 193 South Euclid Avenue at 8th Street and Euclid Avenue, molesting while the entity is aiming direct light on the bus. Group stalking, 8LDX 971. It is currently 9:58 a.m. Rentals, group stalking, license CMONELL, license 7C59416. We are currently at what I believe is 6th Street and Euclid Avenue. Alrighty, just want to include on my podcast what you will observe as it's published onto YouTube and onto my website, thepatternofchronic.wordpress.com. Additional video captured at 10 o'clock in the morning showing what is the absence of the sun, all right? Because if this is and the analysis is very simple. If this is the sun that's over the Upland Public Library at 10 o'clock in the morning, then it's not going to be remaining in some perfect alignment with me while I'm on public transportation, driving away from the Upland Public Library, and it's clearly removing itself from that location to be in alignment with me as I capture on Euclid Avenue, entering into Ontario, which is also at the same time showing what is the absence of the sun over the, or next to and between the Ovid Family Community Library where I stood at 10 o'clock in the morning just the other day, showing you what is the maintenance on another side of the building, because I captured video at 9:35 at the Ovid Family Community Library, and then 25 minutes later at 10 a.m. as I stood on the near the walkway, on the side of the Ovid Family Community Library, where the light switch is directly over my head. It's not over the street of Euclid Avenue, which would cause me to face the opposite direction. I would have not been facing east, showing you the fake sun over my head. I would have been facing west, showing you the fake sun, as it was over Euclid Avenue, as it is right now at 10 o'clock, and the bus is going southbound. And again, the light source is not stationary over that, in between the Senior Center and the Ovid Family Community Library, as it is at 10 o'clock in the morning 48 hours ago. It's over me while I'm on the bus, Route 83, going southbound, and it is nowhere near the Ovid Family Community Library, and then passes exceeding beyond the Ovid Family Community Library, which is, again, an unnatural occurrence, not occurring at the same time. You're talking about now you're getting into you're suggesting the impossible. It's clearly not present, but you're suggesting that the sun is still maintaining stationary presence over that building when it's clearly not over the building. I'm on the bus and I'm going past the building, moving away, driving away, and the fake sun is keeping, again, this is necessarily the fake sun. This is the maintenance of a light source. Whereas the actual sun would have been already in a position relative to the location of the Ovid Family Community Library, and the bus would have been driving closer to, if you will. But that's not what you see. You see the light source in perfect alignment with me, not over the Upland Public Library, clearly not over the Fontana Lewis Library, over the roof of that, over the parking lot, anywhere near the entrance. It's clearly not anywhere over Chino. It's right here over my head on Euclid Avenue, which I wouldn't be able to see from the Route 83 bus. And it's not over Chino and also over the bus on Euclid Avenue and Ontario and Upland at the same time. It's not over the courthouse where I'm standing in Pomona, California at 10 o'clock at the same time. The entity is keeping the light source directly over me as I then show you where the location of the parking garages, which is facing the Ovid Family Community Library, around that 280 North Limit Apartments in the Wells Fargo. That's where the Ovid Family Community Library is, which is east of the street Euclid Avenue. It's not over that building. It's not over the elevator. It's not over the Upland Public Library, specifically the building, such that sunlight is aiming down through the elevator and over the staircase. It's directly over me on the bus, going southbound, away from that building, never present over that building, and driving past that building, while the light source is at no time over that physical structure, contrary to what I'm documenting while I'm there at that building. That's the ongoing documented pattern, though. All right, 7GMG 798. And this is what the entity is doing with regard to stalking with light through the environment. This is what the people of the state are doing, stalking with light, as they are group stalking, maintaining this directed light all over my person and all over around me while it's appearing on the walls of the Upland City Hall, for example, all over the asphalt, flashing of directed light, which is the sex offense that I was documenting as I read all those license plates, the entity engaging in what is a sex offense over and over and over again. And that is the prosecution for the entirety of that entity, by the way. as I'm documenting, just accumulating what is the perpetual sex offense. That's why it's referred to in that regard, because this is what the government is doing, violating the person while you're stalking them, placing them under surveillance. It's entirely demented. And that's the significance of the video that I captured at 10 o'clock, by the way. And so you're looking at what is not the sun that's over me while I'm at that venue, and that's why it's not over that venue while I am on the bus Route 83, not even near that venue. And then when you see the location of that venue, driving past that venue, and there's no sun that's over that venue, and it remains in alignment with me driving past that venue, okay? And then I'm showing you where I'm present at 1:45 p.m. where I return to the museum, because the video continues. And the light source is over the museum at 1:45 p.m. And how is that the sun that's present at that location when I'm not going to be anywhere near that location at 1:45 p.m. today? Okay, and that's stalking with light, and that's the ongoing ability to capture the demonic. All right, that's what the scientific impossibility is. Not only the fact that the light source is remaining over that same street until well after the evening, as I've documented, and it's over that same street where I get up in the morning, as I've documented, as early as 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning. But you're talking about what is also the demonic. It's impossible that the sun is over me at that Ontario Museum of History and Arts at 1:45 in the afternoon, when it's not only there at 7:50 in the morning. That the sun hasn't gone anywhere. That's not the sun. And also, it's also there in the evening. But not only that, it's not over the Ontario Museum of History and Arts at 1:45 p.m. when I'm in Chino, California today at 1:45 p.m. Directly over the building that I'm inside of at 1:45 p.m. That's not occurring at the same time, and that's very clearly seen as you are looking at the video. And so it's not a matter of debating and he said, she said. Oh, well, no, well, that's why you document, because that's no rocket scientist requiring to witness that. 1767783, Amazon Prime, molesting. 8HNH 648, molesting as well. And the fake sun remains again on the driver's side of the bus while this bus is driving southbound on Euclid Avenue. In Ontario, we're currently at what is the 60 freeway, where the entity has engaged in setting a fake sun at that 60 freeway into the evening, as I documented this time of year in 2021, where I was remaining at Economy N. This is where the entity was keeping a fake sun. All right, and again, this is the ongoing documentation, because everything that the entity is doing now, I was not going anywhere near Pomona, Chino, and the entity was keeping a fake sun over the Economy N. When I would go to the grocery store, a grocery outlet, that's where the fake sun was over me in the evening. That was literally moving north to be in alignment with me inside of that grocery outlet. That's as far as that light source would exceed. The entity aiming direct light inside of that grocery outlet, inside of the Driftwood Village across the street, that Food for Less. And that's where the entity kept the fake sun and the fake moon for the duration of the day, which is a matter of objective evidence. I documented it. All right, and that's absolutely impossible. You're also witnessing the impossible while I go to absolutely different, far out-reaching other locations, in other words, not remaining within the property of 2301 South Euclid Avenue at Economy Inn. And you're seeing what is not remaining anywhere over my hotel room at Economy Inn, where I was this time of year last year. And nor is the sun ever remaining over a single property for the duration of the day. It's also not remaining over Economy Inn at 231 South Euclid Avenue, while the entity is keeping the fake sun over the Upland Public Library at 450 North Euclid Avenue in Upland, California for the duration of my time there. All right? Like I said, that is speaking to the ongoing cumulative value of the documentation of what an entity, the state of California, is doing, which is entirely satanic. Engaging in what is targeting an American citizen, placing that American citizen under surveillance with the people of the state who are demon-possessed. All right? This is the criminal conduct of what is Satan itself. You can refer to Satan as what is engaging, what is that which are the ongoing capture of what is scientific impossibilities in the environment and the conduct that they are engaging in, the demon-possessed and the demonic environment, which is the literally the setting for federal group stalking and monitoring. It's currently 10:17 a.m. UPS's group stalking license. Oh, no, this is Amazon Prime. 1767783 is the license plate. This is P.O.C. 8CNX 429. And this is this demon-possessed population that's pursuing me. As I am on public transportation, CPC 0822 Texas. And they are pursuing. That's why the entity is keeping a light source directly over me, where I'm seated on the bus, right over my head. And it's nowhere near the the Ovid Family Community Library's elevator It's 10:19 a.m. and my video is showing you what's the light source that's directly over that window above the Open Family Community Library, as though that's sunlight. It's not. It's engineered light, and that's the entity's light source. You're witnessing. I'm documenting. You are witnessing the demonic while that light source is there over my head, and that's the demonic while the light source is over my head on Route 83, nowhere near the Open Family Community Library. All right, and that is the setting of the pattern of conduct that's underway inside of that Open Family Community Library as I captured it. Let me give you a picture. Alrighty, and as I'm at the intersection of Euclid and Chino Avenue at 10:19 a.m., that's where the light source is today. And that's not the sun that would be over the elevator window of the Open Family Community Library one day at 10:19 a.m. and then the next day when I'm in a totally different location, it's over me in Chino, California. That's impossible. That's called stalking with light, in other words. All right, and it's 10:20 a.m. I did capture still image light source right over my head. All right, and so in other words, you're understanding what is Open Family Community Library doing? They are a facilitating venue, and they are stalking with light while the entity places that light source and that engineer light inside the venue. P.O.C. That's what these minions are doing while they're pursuing me while I'm on public transportation. It's really a picture showing how pathetic the people of the state of California are, how superficial their entire reality is. It is in great contrast to the way that even the government and the people of the state portray themselves, for example, on the worldwide internet. They are about literally another person. They're group stalkers in California, and that includes the government. That's an entire operation that they have. While, in other words, they seek to engage in what is distracting you with whatever it is they have going on in everyday life. Everything that they're doing in everyday life is serving to monitor another person, though. That's what's so pathetic about the people of the state, right? And they are, in every regard, using everything that they have at their disposal to maintain that. That's entirely pathetic, in direct contrast to the way in which the entity portrays itself. You're talking about the average person on Twitter from California, the average person on Instagram in California. And let me be clear, they're on television as well. This is a state system. Let me break something down even further to you. Okay, this is the reality. If I were to go to Calabasas, guess what would be going on? The P.O.C. Okay, that's exactly what would be going on. The P.O.C. So, like I said, it is entirely pathetic and contrary to what the entity would like you to be distracted with and thinking that they are consumed with. They're consumed with what is placing one that is of their not of their shared condition. These are puppets of Satan. Puppets of Satan are on social media. They're on television. They are, as Amazon Prime is demonstrating, operating companies license 5327483. This is a demon operating Amazon Prime, molesting with directed light while they're group stalking, pursuing me. Entirely pathetic, okay? Not focused on the business of Amazon Prime. The business of Amazon Prime is placing American citizens under surveillance, okay? That's why you have what is light touching me while you're doing nothing other than driving by. That would create shade. The Amazon vehicle is very tall. This is a demon that's operating that vehicle that is stalking me, okay? It's entirely pathetic, and this is the reality of that, which is, it's appalling. But this is, again, the evidence speaks for itself, and what are you drawing from the implications of that? A very pathetic entity. California, in other words, I'm going to speak in the vernacular in a way that just, California ain't about nothing. They're a bunch of weirdos, and they're a bunch of puppets of Satan that are literally on a time clock until they're doomed, because these are minions that are walking in darkness. They're going to burn in hell. And their entire existence on the opposite side of eternity, where they're living right now in the flesh and blood, it's an entirely pathetic existence. You're living to pursue somebody else. That's the conduct of Satan, by the way. Okay, Satan is on a stopwatch, 00034U2. Satan has a limited amount of time, but Satan's devices are also being limited, because I'm telling you what Satan is doing. I'm telling you how Satan is doing it, and I'm telling you where Satan is doing it. Okay, and it's that specific environment. It is currently 10:23 a.m. This is P.O.C. Already, the entity engaging in molestation, 6M, PC 704, I believe. Can't really see that one. But this demon is 7MDL844, directed light moving all across the bus. That's a terrorist. Engaging in what is also the sex offense with employee 3401. That's what's displayed on the bus. Directed light moving on the interior of the bus and also the buildings outside of the bus. License plate monitoring with them, 6PDH 689. These are the demon possessed in Chino, California. All right, there's no exception to these demons. It doesn't change while you've got the rise in property values. They are the same exact cockroach, demon possessed puppets of Satan engaging in criminal conduct. Okay, and are hostile as I force those cockroaches to engage in the criminal conduct that they would like to keep concealed, but they can't. Because Satan is going to do what Satan is going to do. And this is literally revealing their condition and their criminal activity while I go to another venue and am subject to it and document it. All right, so I want to clarify that. It's 10:33 a.m. and I'm arriving at the Chino Transit Center. And my documentation speaking to what is my presence as I remain in Upland, California, but I'm showing you what is the, not just in Upland, inside of the Upland Public Library. All right, inside of the study room, walking out and showing you video of the light source, and it's keeping it right over me while I'm on Chino. And while I'm on the bus going to Chino and aiming direct light on me. This is speaking to a specific knowledge of where I am. It's an impossible occurrence. That's the trait. That's the signature of the stalker, the demon-possessed one, the group stalker monitoring with the government. It's 10:34 a.m. P.O.C, as you can hear, arriving in Chino, California right now. Well, at the Chino Transit Center right now. Alrighty, again, that's employee 3401, and this is bus number 2349 with license plate 1545906. All right, again, license 1545685. Stalking with light. That is bus number 2354. Capturing video of what is the impossible light activity that's occurring while I'm in the shade. This is the understanding when you are looking at the light. This is exactly what I'm showing you, what I'm documenting. License 1234513, bus 1220, stalking with light in the path. The entity engaging in what is the conduct with the light source, okay, and with the engineered light that surrounds. That's how you're witnessing the obsession that the people of the state would like to and unpersuasively try to conceal. They're the demon possessed and they're engaged in obsessive stalking conduct, and that's why you see what is light that appears inexplicably in the shade. That's where the entity seeks to keep you covered at all times, surrounded at all times with this engineered light. That's the terrorist and the sex offender. And this is what you're looking at when I'm inside of the Upland Public Library, as I captured at 4:05 p.m. yesterday. The fake sun is directly over the roof, and directed light is on the ground and also outside of what is the library. Let me give you this demon's license plate, 8P75772. This is an obsessed stalker, and this is why the entity is surrounding me with what is directed light. They are group stalking in the parking lot. This is an overweight Latino male wearing glasses with a black cap with a white logo on it. Engaged in that obsessed stalking with 7WQH168. All right, that obsession that the demon-possessed population seek to conceal is shown, and it is unmistakable through the environment that you're surrounded by. And so they're pacing all around you, for example, in my video, like I was referencing, and inside of the Upland Public Library, and that's what I was pointing out. While you see them getting up from their seats, coming out of rooms and walking by, like they're chit-chatting, like they're going somewhere, they're doing something, they have a purpose for what they're doing, and doing so at the moment that they're doing it. They're doing it while the entity is aiming engineered light through the roof of the venue, and it is also actually abnormal light. The staircase, the pattern of the very staircase is appearing flat through in the shape of the window that's at the top of the through the roof. And this is the video that I'm referencing inside of the Upland Public Library. That's engineered light. When you're paying attention to how would you even have that staircase pattern, literally the stairs themselves, and then also it's appearing in what is the shape of the window. That's the entity's directed light, the engineered light. Where the entity touches objects, the shape of that whole object appears onto surfaces. That's one way of identifying that, and that's how you have, while the entity is hitting the staircase with engineered light, the staircase, the shadow, the appearance, the literal shape of that staircase, not just the bars, but the steps themselves, appearing in what is also the shape of the window. That's entirely demented. That's the abnormal environment. And you see them walking up and down the stairs, walking in and out of the bathroom, walking to and from the women's and men's bathroom. They're pacing around, and their obsession is demonstrated, and they're facilitating conduct, behavior in that engineered light. They are obsessed demons who are monitoring, and while they do that, the entity is engaging in what is showing that obsession while the entity places directed light all around me while I'm getting off of the bus. And I captured video so you can see what is absolutely, all of that would be shade, every single last ounce of it. And I'm being molested with what is engineered light. That is capturing the surveillance that I'm subject to by demons who are obsessively stalking. That is an iteration of what is exactly what I'm documenting also on the bus. The entity flashing directed light while the entirety of an entity is engaged in obsessive stalking. That obsession is not different. It's not ceasing. It continuously exists while those demons are driving the Amazon Prime vehicles. They're driving their own vehicles. They're driving municipality vehicles. They're driving the bus itself that I'm on. They're all demons obsessively stalking. And they're doing so on behalf of the government that's obsessively stalking using helicopters. Okay, as I've continued to frequently document and have been for a term of years. This is how you're witnessing what is the obsession, and I'm going to link to describe that to you because in every way I'm revealing not only is the P.O.C. and I don't need to, but I think it is important to understand the conduct of the psychopath that is relevant to their prosecution. A psychopath, which are the people of the state, which are these demons that are engaging in this conduct on behalf of the entity as an entity. And the conduct of that reveals the psychopaths that they are. They would like to, on the one hand, look the other way or hide behind what's the appearance of a child, carrying a little teddy bear, appearing to maintain what is a compassionate outward appearance, if you will. And this is just my observation of the entirely sick entity that they are, and witnessing what is the picture, the superficial guise under which demons that are stalking you are seeking to maintain. All right, they want to look a certain way. They want to outwardly appear and conduct themselves a certain way while they are absolutely obsessively stalking, while the entity goes to such efforts such as the gymnastics with light, and that is how you are witnessing what is an entire psychopath stalking obsessively. And also that obsession they're trying to hide desperately, and doing so through whatever images that you may attribute to being outside of the bounds of what could possibly be a stalker or a criminal or a demon. All right, this is what this entity relies on. It is absolutely irrelevant. It's absolutely irrelevant. What is relevant? That evidence that they cannot deny, because Satan cannot. This is the pattern of conduct. So Satan is engaging in hoping that you were distracted by their outward form and disregard what is the direct evidence. And that's not what you're going to do. The presence of that light source, which is a scientific impossibility, is the direct evidence. In addition to that, what's relevant to the prosecution of that psychopath is the way in which the entity is engaging in terrorism, stalking you. And it is entirely demented while a bunch of creepy stalkers are focused on you and also engaging in what is conduct that's serving to seeking to obstruct justice. That's entirely creepy, while you're also stalking in bathrooms, following into bathrooms, and you're maintaining real-time knowledge of the fact that you're being prosecuted, you're being documented. You're literally engaging in the criminal act while you're being documented. They're walking in and around all the directed light. They're under what is the fake sun that the entity keeps over a building for a duration of hours, the entirety of a business day. All right. And they're doing so while they also at the same time want to try and hope that you just focus on the distraction. Look, I'm with a kid. I'm with a baby. I'm pushing a stroller. I work here. I'm helping a customer. That's what I'm doing. These are the messages that demons are trying to send while they are engaging in what is obsessive stalking conduct. That's a psychopath. That's even creepier. Okay, it's a sick people. So while you look at directed light, while you're looking at what is the entity doing gymnastics with light, then you're going to look at what is the psychopath that wants you to be distracted with what they're doing, which is nothing other than activity creation. Nothing other than that. All right, it's currently 10:44 a.m., so I do want to break that down because it's relevant to the sick entity that are the people of the state. And this is Satan. That is, again, out of its mouth, the textbook activity, the textbook conduct of Satan, which is Satan is a liar, is defamation. While they are stalking you, the first thing out of Satan's mouth is something that is of a defamatory nature. While they are stalking you, that is Satan. That is a liar. You've ever heard that? That's the only truth. Okay, that's a saying that's actually true. Satan is a liar, and Satan is the very, very disturbed psychopath that wants to falsely defame the one that Satan is stalking. Okay, and because you know why? Because Satan knows it's very, very crazy. When that's exposed and when you're prosecuted for it, that's a whole other level of crazy, never contemplated under federal law. When you're stalking with the whole environment, when you're stalking with light, when you're stalking as a people, That's a whole other level of crazy. Let me be clear. Satan is consumed with an agenda to falsely defame the targeted individual. That's not going to work, and you'll go to federal prison for that. Whether you're a minion group stalking outside while the targeted individual is homeless, or where you're a minion group stalking inside of a courtroom, exercising authority that you don't even legally have and which you shall not maintain while you're exposed as a demon-possessed entity engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring. License plate. Stalking with directed light, 8VON 612. Like I said, that's what I want to expound upon, and this is what's so sick about it, about the entity that's engaging in that conduct, and this is why I do laugh, because it's entirely pathetic. 1556090, that's City of Chino. It's entirely pathetic. While and it's speaking to what is it is fear. Okay, Satan is very fearful because I'm exposing it, but aside from that, the ordinary target individual is it's absurd, the level of despicable conduct that the entity engages in. And so I just find it's just you can't do anything but laugh at that wall, and you are stalking me, and that's no concealed matter. That's no secret. You don't have any secrets. I've exposed all of it, and you are trying to insult me. I've documented that the entity tries to engage in what is waging assaults while you're stalking me, and the entity engaging in trying to defame you while you're stalking me. Okay. And you're engaging in what is also unfounded hostility, when what I'm doing should not even be of any concern to you if you were not stalking me. Okay. In addition to that, you're surrounded by the evidence showing that you are indeed a demented stalker, 7ZOY698, a demented one. All right. 8MKH890. Anyway, it's currently 10:47 a.m. License 8PXV859 5WMG536 8CBC707 7P59087 797 79TO4T2 6GBP203 7WPD475 7HWV643. All right, and as you'll pay attention to, while the entity is keeping its fake sun over me in Upland, California, as I'm documenting at 9:35 in the morning, what's not over any parking lot in Chino, California, as I documented at around 9:45 in the morning, standing at the parking lot, the same parking lot where the entity kept the fake sun, as I documented while I was in Chino not too long ago, a little over a week ago, 8NET621. There's no sun over the parking lot of the Chino Branch Library. It's not over the Chino Branch Library, visible in that location in its zenith, as I'm capturing at 9:45, as I was here days prior, while I'm remaining in Upland, California, and that fake sun is over me at 9:35 in the morning, remaining over me while I'm en route to the city of Chino. That's how you're understanding what a stalking look like. The system of surveillance, and very easily documented when you're understanding what is the unique presence of being in its zenith over your head, and doing so at the same time, even as I document, at the same time in a different city. That's not the sun. That's not the natural environment, and it's impossible. And it's also impossible while the demon-possessed entity that it reveals that it's literally self-identifying conduct. 8DMD504, while the demon-possessed molest and stalk and surround with direct light. 8ETB493. It is the conduct of the obsessed stalker. All right, license 5TNC613. 8MZR541, 8NKG098. Alrighty, and they're group stalking at the Senior Center, the Chino Branch Library. There is the Chino City Hall, let me see, Chaffee College Chino Information Technology Center. It says Robert Pyle. And also the Assemblyman at the State Facilitating Venue. There are a bunch of minions engaging in surveillance while the entity keeps a fake sun over this parking lot, which is over these buildings right here, where the entity is centering that activity creation, that environment. 8LMB110. 8MWM755, 7ETF823, and that environment is present amongst those who are identified as a matter of unmistakable and direct evidence, as I'm capturing the scientific impossibility of this environment to naturally occur in conflict with what are scientific facts. That is the evidence of what are a bunch of demons that are sitting in the Assemblyman's office, demons that are sitting in the Senior Center. Right? This is revealing what's wrong with the state of California, the people of the state of California, the government in the state of California. 8RST437, but again, my documentation is going beyond what is the local government. This is the U.S., let me be clear, the federal government documenting engaging the P.O.C. I've documented that. They provided that evidence That's fine. You're, like I said, you're getting to a point where you're telling your own secrets. I'm going to prosecute you regardless, but you're telling your own secrets. And this documentation, this prosecution is revealing a lot about the entity. It's revealing a lot. So I'm just speaking to, it's not just the local government, obviously. The entity engaging in what is the pattern of conduct of via the California Supreme Court. All right, and they engaged in, you're talking about what is the California Supreme Court that is documented as a group stalker engaging in obstruction of justice, which is the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring. And how do they do that? By denying a fundamental constitutional right that is of no serious debate whatsoever, very, very, very rudimentary understanding of which the court maintains. All right, and that was service of process, and that's not some error, that's not some oversight, that's intentional conduct, seeking to obstruct justice, seeking to conceal the system, all right, that I am every way qualified to, and not even that, you don't even get to the substance of my suit where you are engaging in what is the violation of my First Amendment right to serve as a process, which again, the Sheriff's Department, the Superior Court you don't have any right to engage in evasion of service of process, denying to engage in what is a duty relevant to the very office that you hold. That's the sheriff's office. They just outright refuse to serve process. And then the courts just affirm that. That's not a mistake. Okay. This is the state of California engaging in what is obstruction of justice. Group stalking. Okay. This is obstruction of justice. You are a group stalker when you're engaging in obstruction of justice on the venue of the internet. You are a group stalker when you're engaging in obstruction of justice in any form, including the courts. And that's this California Supreme Court documented it. And this is also, documented. And this is already published documentation, the court records, the litigation, the prosecutorial efforts exerted, which was documentation of this court system that is serving to none other than avoid justice, obstruct justice. And that is also, again, as I've stated before, the grounds of what is federal question, all right? This is in every way something that is to be prosecuted in the federal courts, all right? So anyway, it's currently 10:52 a.m. and I'm at the Chino Branch Library where the entity has already documented and engages in keeping a fake sun for the duration of the day. And this is where the entity is targeting, concentrating that conduct, because this is where I'm at, all right? And this is where the P.O.C. is underway. All right, it's 10:53 a.m. This is P.O.C. Hi. All right, they're using children as a means of audible activity. I want to be clear, they're monitoring, and they being the Chino Branch Library. And they're doing so in direct light. They're doing so under the fake sun, having a bunch of children doing story time. Yay! It's audible activity. And you're witnessing, again, the same demonic behavioral pattern, stalking with audible activity, the maintenance of noise and engineered light, the entity engaging in what is keeping the light source over the venue. And then you're getting into what is, when you're understanding that POC, then you see how creepy they are when they even include children in that POC. And that's exactly what it is, the maintenance of noise. Trying to color the pattern of conduct in some other compassionate method is no form. It is the pattern of conduct. It's 10:54 a.m. and this is the Chino Branch Library under the fake sun. This is P.O.C. All right, upon entry of the women's restroom, you have a group stalker that's engaging in surveillance in a bathroom stall and flushing the toilet. That's audible activity as you're crossing the path. This is a demon engaging in that demented and predatory conduct, highly demented. It's 1:11 p.m. All right, this is the people of the state group stalking in the bathroom at Chino Branch Library. Don't you hear that? That's activity creation. That's a demon that's stalking in the bathroom. This is P.O.C. The same demons that are outside molesting with directed light, right? They are stalking in bathrooms. I'm sorry?
No picture?
Am I taking a picture? Are you taking a picture? Oh, okay.
Something wrong with you.
Really? Okay. That is 1:15 p.m. This is a demon that's stalking in the bathroom. And while I'm holding my phone as she is holding her phone, she's focusing her energy, her focus on me while she should be washing her hands. She's not. She turns around and faces me. What you hear is, first of all, it's audible activity. And then you also have what is, again, are you taking a picture while they're monitoring? She's holding her phone as well. I just want to be clear on that. This is the entity that is monitoring and the sex offending psychopath that is stalking you and then engaging in what is asking. You're monitoring on a phone. So I just want to understand in your mind the level of sickness there with a stalker in a bathroom. It's 1:15 p.m. and this is a demon that's engaging in that while they are monitoring at the Chino Branch Library. It's the Chino Branch Public Library in Chino, California. It's 1:16 p.m. All right, I did capture video at 3:37 p.m. and those you see engaged, this is the San Bernardino County Chino Branch Library, the people of the state. The entity that is molesting with direct light. Well, I'm sitting at computer number CHI01, and these are psychopaths that you're looking at in the library. They're engaging in criminal conduct and outwardly conducting themselves as though they are focused on whatever it is you see in front of them, the computer, a piece of paper, a book. The entity is sounding helicopter activity as I documented in that video. They are under what is an impossibility, which is the light source that's over the venue, directly over the window, then over my head as I walk away from the door. The entity is aiming light horizontally through the windows, and the entity is also molesting me as I sit at computer CHI01. These are hostile demons, very passive-aggressive, psychopaths, and violent sex offenders engaging in the criminal system while they are also at the same time monitoring my documentation. And you can see this in the images and in the video that I captured. This is the prosecution of an entity, and that's the state of California. And this is, again, the same cockroaches in the city of Chino. There is no change with regard to the pattern of conduct, the psychopath, the satanic conduct, the criminal activity, which is criminal monitoring, and what is terrorism by a demon-possessed entity. All right, and that's how I'm able to capture what is the same exact pattern of conduct, the impossible placement of the light source over me at 3:37, when at the same time I remain at that time inside in Ontario in front of 1647 Hope Boulevard. And as I walk back in, the hostile demons begin amplifying what is helicopter activity. As I document them stalking in the bathroom, they engage in what is flashing with light, touching all over me as I document the maintenance of the fake sun and the impossible light activity, the asinine conduct that they are surrounding while they're stalking. All right. And this is that defeated loser, but that's the prosecution of what's a sex offender. And it's not just the minions that I'm capturing. The minions are representing the people of the state. The minions are representing what is San Bernardino County. All right, an aspect of the another venue where the entity is engaging in state surveillance or terrorism, which is demonic activity, is underway because they're monitoring a violation of existing federal law. And it's 3:45 p.m., so I want to document this, and this is in reference to video that I just captured moments earlier. As I walk inside, sit at the computer, the impossible occurrence, but that is nonetheless occurring, touching me with light. That's the obsessive stalker, okay? It is currently 3:45 p.m. This is P.O.C. XVT983, 7KIC296, they're monitoring in the bathroom, 7SKA794, 8WLX717, 6YRJ624, 8ETB493. It is currently 5:52 p.m. License 8UAN823. C6JVS608, 7EJJ812, 8AKL410, 8SMX927, 7YIS222, 7YJC911, and it is currently 5:54 p.m. License 8CNN071, 7 LRK 549, 8 DDL 596, 8S 91414, 8 ZBL 889, 8 YAZ 881, 8 ZDL 161, 70 NH 676, 7 AJR 517, 7 PKW 898, 8 ZDL 161, 8 SNU 498, 8 FQR 961, 8 WDZ 208, 7 TYJ 152, 8 MNX 902, 7 LDF 463, 07042J3, 8 FSE 756, 8 VVV 100, 8 WYX 805, 8 VEC 461, 8 XIJ 729, 63283Z2, I believe. That is 63283Z2. That's correct. And it's currently 5:55 p.m. License plate BM84T63, paper. Currently 5:56 p.m. License plate 1404972, bus 1328, 7UIT050. License bus 2349. That's the minion that's using Route 83. Stopped at bus stall 84. 7DAC432. That's another license plate. I'm sorry. Actually, that's not correct. The other bus, that's a different bus, Route 84, with the signage on it that says Route 84 now, is the minion that you see operating the bus. It's crossing paths with directed light, and it's remaining at that stall and using the bus as a means of ongoing noise creation. All right, so I'm speaking to the way in which demons are stalking with light. And also when I'm on the bus, obviously, even when I'm off the bus, as I documented this morning, all right, in the shade, covered up by a building up over my head. That's the P.O.C, and these demons use those buses as a means of ongoing noise creation and that engineered light monitoring. It's 6 p.m. on the dot. All right, I want to make sure I documented this bus. I believe I did. The bus driver appears to be she's like 5'2", 5'3", perhaps a Caucasian female. She has a boyish haircut, and she's driving license plate 1404972. She's molesting with directed light, and the fake sun is in perfect alignment with the bus that I'm standing in front of at the Chino Transit Center. All right, the same Chino Transit Center as I documented. Not only was I here this morning, that's also speaking to, but I referenced April 12th because I was here even earlier than the time that I appeared this morning, arrived. AWDZ 208. Under both circumstances, you're capturing what is the demonic, the duration of time, as you're paying attention to what is the maintenance of a light source, which is revealing an unnatural environment, not possibly the sun. And what coexists with that is the unnatural light activity, the impossible light activity that remains while the impossible placement of a light source remains. All right, you're understanding what's the big picture, the ongoing pattern of conduct, and the demon possessed are in that environment, engaging in what is stalking in the path, stalking in bathrooms, sitting in whatever location you are at. The people of the state are a bunch of demons that are engaging in what is obsessive stalking as an entity, stalking with noise while they are doing so, entirely demented. All right, it's currently 6:01 p.m. This is P.O.C. at the Chino Transit Center. License DFX Y65, Florida. Oh, here's another minion. License 7UXH 632. License 8DKC633. I have a question. The bus doesn't leave at 6 o'clock today? Oh, it does? Oh, okay. Yeah, just documenting what is the maintenance of presence while, again, they're monitoring. Omnitrans is monitoring while remaining at the transit center in Chino, molesting with directed light, monitoring with the minions that are patrolling. So I just want to document that. And that's reference to the minion that goes into the bathroom. She's crossing path while she's going to the bathroom, and the ongoing delay due to criminal activity. Okay? They're monitoring. That's what's relevant about what is not moving or leaving on schedule. It's 6:04 p.m. This minion opening and closing the doors, directed light while she does so. It's 6:04 p.m. 8ULS 813. It is 6:05 p.m. That's again 8ULS. That's the beginning of the light switch. And we're just now leaving the Chino Transit Center at 6:04 p.m. This minion is crossing path while she arrives at the Chino Transit Center, but I also want to document 7 MPA 135, 8 KTT 061. I also want to document what is going into the restroom area. As you saw, the minion this morning in direct light molesting me, group monitoring, group stalking in plain sight under the fake sun in the morning, the same transit center where this fake sun is present right now. She's monitoring as she goes, as she arrives. She also is monitoring while the bus is not leaving her schedule. 7KLF 217. I want to document because, first of all, this is centered around me. They're monitoring while you're late, while you're not leaving pursuant to the published schedule, and you're posing an unlawful threat to my life while you're going out of your way to remain at any location, let alone where I'm documenting, and the pattern of conduct is underway. That's what the delay is about. They are monitoring while you're late. Okay, you're monitoring while you're crossing path, while you're arriving, while you go into the bathroom, which is crossing the path conduct, loitering in the bathroom, okay, which is surveillance in the bathroom on behalf of the state that is monitoring while I'm reading those license plates of crossing path minions. She is in the bathroom monitoring. You're doing it in directed light. This is not about nature calling. This is about criminal conduct. And I want to document that. It's directly relevant to the Omnitrans that's engaging in state surveillance. So that's why I'm also pointing it out. It is also the converse when I am not on the bus or when I'm waiting for the bus. Omnitrans is engaged in a pattern of what is non-arrival pursuant to their published schedule while they're engaging in criminal activity. You're monitoring, okay? So it is currently 6:07 p.m. I just want to point that out. This is P.O.C. in Chino. We're on, I believe this is Central Avenue. 13893 is the address on Central Avenue where we're at. Yeah, we're approaching the Ruben Ayala Park, I believe. VAS 263, 8UXM 764, 5MXT 274, CB8 5F98. That's paper. At Edison Avenue and Central Avenue. Teichert, Teichert, is crossing path with directed light. At Edison Avenue and Central Avenue. Direct light swooping across the minions vehicles of 5MXT 274. 8ANF455. They're group stalking together, all right, and so is this minion that's operating this vehicle. One VER 882, 8 VAS 263. In case I didn't read that one already. License 89134W1, Toriba Express, 506-59D3. That's JJT Logistics Incorporated. That's what that truck says on it. Directed light touching all over the bus. 6ZAW 638. 8FLG117, 8WEP 376, PLAYCAT 8888 LA2, 5TUN 280. 8KMK 890, 6KPK 381, 8GPN 565, 7WTZ 963, or 7WZT 963, I believe. It's 6:09 p.m. 6X199 handicap. Alright, capturing the fake sun over me at the Ruben S.I.I.S Park, where I'm present in the morning on this same route. 8ZCD191 is a demon-possessed group stalker, touching, molesting, terrorizing with directed light, the instruments of Satan to keep one under surveillance with communication devices. 8MOC127, the same. And at 6:10 p.m. at the intersection of College Park Avenue and Central Avenue, the light source is directly over me on the bus, not remaining over the parking lot in perfect alignment, aiming sunlight through the windows of the Chino Branch Library. Okay, as I've documented while I remain in Chino, California. Not remaining outside of the entrance in perfect alignment with the Upland Public Library, as I document while it remains on Euclid Avenue, as I remain at that venue of the Upland Public Library. And it's certainly not over the Fontana Police Department, not at 1:45 p.m. as I documented April 29, 2022. That's not the sun, it's the light source. And it's also not the sun that I documented over the Fontana Police Department at 6:10 p.m. Okay, that is an impossible occurrence while I'm in Chino, coming from the Chino Branch Library. The entity documented keeping a light source specifically aimed into and over me at the Chino Branch Library. And then while I'm en route on the same bus route going in the opposite direction at 6:10 p.m., you have what is the impossible occurrence speaking to what is non-movement of a light source of the sun. That's not the sun. The sun is moving. The sun is not going to be on the same block going street for street, turn for turn, by the way, on a particular bus route. Okay, you have the entity that is keeping a light source over me at College Park and Central Avenue in Chino, California, which is not over the property anywhere near the Fontana Police Department. At the same time, both maintaining perfect alignment with me, as I've documented that pattern of conduct. All right, and the demon possessed are in that environment, stalking, molesting, crossing paths with directed light, maintaining presence while the ongoing stalking with activity conduct is underway, such as Teichert, that company, spelled T-E-I-C-H-E-R-T. That's a demon crossing path in that environment, as I documented on my podcast. And their crossing path while directed light is sweeping all across all the minions who are group stalking at that red light. They're monitoring together in a demonic environment, engaging in demonic activity, which is serving an unprecedented criminal purpose. Monitoring with the state of California, engaging in what is criminal surveillance. All right, and doing so literally as puppets of Satan. All right, license plate 5GIY 683. 7YB3 905. 5AUL 740. 5B15 986. And it is currently 6:16 p.m. 80714F3 GRNIZLO. It's currently 6:17 p.m. Fake sun at Euclid Avenue and let's see, what cross street is this? Euclid Avenue and Edison Avenue. 42315J3. MSY116. 6XLY892. And it is currently 6:18 p.m. 8MGP427, a demon, directed light all through the bus while they cross path. 8VJY743, 8JXH874. 6:19 p.m. 8SIZ295. 7UTK713. Capturing the fake sun over me while on Route 83 at the intersection, beginning that video at the intersection of Schaefer and Euclid Avenue, and continuing that video until the intersection of Riverside Drive and Euclid Avenue, where you can see the freeway sign. That's something that stood out in the video that I captured March 24, 2022, where I left in the morning. I did not remain at the Chino Branch Library. And the entity's fake sun did not remain either. That's why it remained over me as I got on the Route 83 bus in the morning time and proceeded to Fontana, which I documented on video. That is capturing the demonic in and of itself. The maintenance of the light source over the Chino Branch Library, as I've documented on more than one occasion since my return to document the state of California, specifically the venue of Chino, California. Nonetheless, you have what is the maintenance of the light source, again, over the same exact bus route, street for street, turn for turn, and at a later time in the day, all right, and which is speaking to the non-movement of what is supposed to be the sun. S.I.S, 595, I believe. Can't really see that whole light display, though. Of what is the non-movement of what is supposedly the sun, an object that is engaged in constant movement, and it is, in other words, not remaining over a building, over an address for the duration of the day. And it's also not going to be over the same exact bus route, for example, as this means of public transportation takes the same exact route throughout the day. And as I've shown you that the entity keeps that fake sun over me at all times of the day, no matter how early, as such as 7:50 in the morning, no matter how late, such as 6:30 in the evening. All right, and that's the same maintenance of presence, the same aiming of directed light. And not only did I capture this video, you're going to reference the video documentation from March 24th. I mean, you can reference anything. It's impossible that will be the sun over me on this street at that time while I am remaining in Upland, California. But specifically, I've used that same exact location as an ongoing, very vivid example. 7MXM202 is a demon-possessed group stalking sex offender, and that's exactly how they shall be prosecuted, along with the people of the state acting via omnitrans, all right? While they are engaging in what is a molestation, you'll see in this video impossible light activity, while that is directly linked to their crossing of path conduct, the pattern of conduct that is underway, in other words, on the bus, while the fake sun remains directly over me. And as you saw that while I'm inside a Chino Branch Library, that's exactly what they were doing inside of the library. That's exactly what they were doing while I was inside of the 7-Eleven. That's exactly what they were doing while I was at the bus stop, all right, sitting on the bus this morning, stalking with directed light while the entity keeps the fake sun. The people of the state are crossing path while this directed light remains present. This is what the entity is doing inside of any building, outside at any location, and doing so in an impossible manner. Not only is this not possibly the sun with reference to the natural environment, scientific facts speaking to what the sun is not, a stationary object remaining over one location for the duration of the day. All right, and also to be present, that's stationary when you're over the same exact bus route. And that's very specific maintenance of the light source that's moving only as I move in order to be present over the same bus route as I move, regardless of what time I'm on that specific bus route. Okay, 8CXP136. That's a license plate. And so this is what I'm capturing, and this is you're understanding what's the identical pattern of conduct. You're taking it from place to place to place, including what is the bathroom, which is the sex offender that are the people of the state and the state of California. All right. It's currently 6:26 p.m. and the light source remains over what is Euclid Avenue while the bus is driving southbound. And what else you're paying attention to is the entity is moving the fake sun in the opposite direction than what it is. First of all, it's moving, period, because while I'm inside of Fontana Lewis Library at the same exact time, which I've documented, 6:36 p.m., I'm in Fontana, California on I'm on Foothill Boulevard in Rancho Cucamonga is what I was going to say, at Carino's Italiano, which I documented coming from Paul Bayan Library. This is not possibly the sun, 6:36 p.m. I'm on southbound at Philadelphia and Euclid Avenue, okay? That's the P.O.C. In Fontana, California, I use that same exact specific example as a timestamp. I'm remaining both inside of the Fontana Lewis Library at this time, where the entity's fake sun is in perfect alignment with me at Spring and Sierra, showing you out the window. And I'm also outside of the Fontana Lewis Library on Owen Street, Owen and Mango, capturing the fake sun well into the evening, which the entity kept in Fontana. It's nowhere near Chino. It's nowhere near 7th Street, the 7th Street Theater. It's not anywhere near that intersection in order to aim light what is all over the houses and around that fake church, as I'm documenting Sergeant Rice, and that light is specifically aimed on the buildings all around me while that fake sun remains in perfect alignment with me on Seville. This is documentation that is already published, okay? And this is what you'll know what I'm talking about when I'm naming a specific street, when I'm naming the timestamp, when I'm naming the actors that are documented and surrounded with that very specific documentation of what is the maintenance of the light source in an entirely different city for the duration of the day, but not only that, right now in an entirely different city while I'm going northbound on Euclid Avenue, okay? And the entity's aiming this direct light. That's the pattern of conduct, and it's entirely satanic. Alrighty, it is currently 6:28 p.m. License plate says stalkers, license plate 8EXH648. She's a violent sex offender. She is a terrorist while she's of the specific condition. Directed light across the curb while she crosses path. 7LTG664 follows behind. The entity's minions 8455, 8P2 are numerous. Okay, 2102. I can't really see the rest of that one. That's why it is also terrorism. While you have an entity, a group, the people of the state are all of the same condition, pursuing you everywhere you go. 8MLJ541, 6WXM285. And it's currently 6:28 p.m. Oh, excuse me, 6:28 p.m. So it's not 6:36. Well, that time is coming up. I misread the time, so it was 6:26 p.m. when I stated that earlier. But that is still relevant to what shall be 6:36 p.m. and the light source is going in a polar opposite direction. And no way coexisting with being over me in Fontana at the Owen Street in Mango, or the addresses or the venues that I stated the same exact applies. But I do want to state that it's actually 6:29 p.m. Deonza Park, we're at Euclid Avenue and Phillip, I believe. License 6BKV194. And again, this demon operating this bus, 3338. And that is employee 3338, the people of the state engaging in what is the perpetual sex offense,
Mission
terrorism,
Boulevard.
95583E3. And federal group stalking and monitoring, which in and of itself is grounds of federal prison, especially upon posing that impermissible threat. This is an exceedingly violent sex offender, as I've documented the people of the state engaging in that conduct, which is nothing other than the resistance, the defiance of Satan that wants to avoid and act well, nothing else to describe it other than what is just defiance with regard to what is the exposure of your demon possession, your demonic activity, 7BBF 962, and the very conduct itself being outlawed. That's all that the entity is doing. So it's relevant though, because that unlawful threat to the American citizen will land that terrorist in federal prison. The government itself is engaging in what is worthy of federal prison already. The people of the state shall not be permitted to do it on behalf of that government and avoid
Ontario
justice
Civic Center
at all.
Transfer
That's
Station.
absurd. 7
Connecting to
VVF
Lot
962,
61,
7W73505,
and 87.
8H792. I can't really see the rest of them. You could scratch that. It's currently 6:30 p.m. License 7 VVF. Yeah, I read that one already. License, let's see, 9ABE358. And let's see, 8PCH751, 8NKD 524. BS82C35. License plates C7XKA279, 6RSY045. Capturing the image of a violent sex offender monitoring. You can see this demon studying their communication device. The fake sun is right over the RIA money transfer at 6:31 p.m. Again, the entity is maintaining, as I've documented, the fake sun, for example, at not only in Fontana, but not only in Chino, at the Chino Branch Library, I've remained there, but also the Upham Public Library, where I exit and I wait for Route 83, this very bus that I'm on, to arrive at this exact same intersection at 7 p.m., where the entity is moving in the direction south as I'm going from Upland, California to this very location where I'm at right now. All right, coming from Chino. All right, so that's how you're surrounding an entity with evidence of what is not the sun at all. And that minion's license plate is 8XVG652. License 5DXL207. 8URR597. This is P.O.C. 8MCY946, 9ASE312, 8KZN999. Alrighty, this demon, license 1404972, that's again bus 1328. Molesting the entire time, that obsessed stalking, that is personified through what is the environment. That's an absolute impossibility with regard to the fact that it is not naturally occurring under any circumstances, not the directed light, and nor the maintenance of presence of a light source, which is not possibly the sun. 7CPU882, 4YJA480, 8WCW744. License 8NQH715. GB 647, I believe. GB 647, yeah. 9 APA 372, 8 PTC 069, 8 FAJ 140. Seven CDX 013. And I did depart. I did get off of the Route 83 in Ontario, coming from Chino. So I did get off. That's why I was documenting that light space. So I just want to clarify. And that's at 6:33 p.m. I got off that bus, and I am walking on what is D Street. And so again, as I've documented, remaining in the city of Chino, there's not, you're using, again, the entity's conduct with its fake sun is also the evidence of what is not the sun, as well as what the actual sun does, which is not remain over an address all day long, and as you document those conflicts, that is the evidence of what is not the sun, stalking with a light source. And so, like I said, while the entity engages in its conduct, maintenance of presence with its fake sun, showing what is stalking with light. All right, the entity is keeping a light source over me in Chino, California, where I remain after this time. Okay, not today. 8 EBE 721-4905583. Sex offenders touching. All right, and while I am walking on D Street, the entity is keeping the fake sun nowhere near Upland, California as well. So you're understanding the entity is maintaining a light source in Upland, in alignment with that entrance of the Upland Public Library. As I took a picture of yesterday, you're looking at that light activity that's aimed inside of the doorway of that Upland Public Library. If there is actually one sun, that's impossible light activity while I'm in Chino, and I'm exiting that venue, and doing so while that light source is in perfect alignment. That's not, first of all, it's not light activity that's ever going to occur. You're looking at the direction that those doors of the Upland Public Library face, and the entity is doing gymnastics again with directed light, which is all how you are witnessing what is the demon possession and the obsessive stalker that are the demon possessed people of the state of California. Okay, the state of California itself, the actor that's acting directly, the one whose pattern of conduct the people of the state are engaging in and facilitating, that condition is fully revealed. That's fully documented. Okay, these are demons that are stalking with the police departments in helicopters, and even flying in different airplanes. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is demonic activity via the people of the state, who are monitoring as well. And while the entity is at that time, as I'm showing you yesterday in Upland, California, that is not the sun that will be present for the duration of the day, nor is that the sun that will create that light activity inside of those doors, understanding the direction of those doors, how that is impossible light, while the entity is keeping the fake sun in alignment with those doors in the morning. And then at what point is it going some direction north and aiming squarely like laser into that's impossible light, every which way you flip it. In addition to that, you have what is, as I'm exiting, that is light activity, the entity system. You're using it, the entity system is that's supposed to be the sun, and that's supposed to be sunlight. Okay, well, based on the entity's own asinine system, the sun is not over anywhere in Chino, California at a time where that light activity is necessarily supposed to occur, were that the sun. Because it's not occurring when I'm on Route 83 going northbound at Schaefer and Euclid Avenue, when I'm getting off of the bus in Ontario, California, coming from an opposite direction. All right, the entity's light source is remaining over me coming from Chino, California, and this is what you're paying attention to when you're documenting what is nothing other than stalking with light. That's what the demon possessed are doing. This is why you have laser light conduct occurring inside of the stores, occurring inside of grocery stores, occurring inside of while I'm on the bus, occurring while I am sitting inside of any venue such as the library. That's what you saw inside of the Chino Branch Library. Demons, okay, obsessed stalkers, and then they try to keep a straight face like they don't see that. But this is what I'm saying. It's pathetic. You are absolutely pathetic. And you are every bit of the obsessed stalker that I already knew that you were. It's a matter of evidence, and I understand that. And so this is why I'm documenting. It is irrefutable evidence of what is entirely abnormal at the least. There's nothing normal about the people of the state. There's nothing normal about the environment that they're in. It is in conflict with what are scientific facts. Even their behavior is abnormal in that environment. Even if you were to try to disregard all the abnormality that I have documented as a matter of irrefutable record, the very conduct and behavior of the people of the state, demons running up on me and focusing their phones on me, that's what this demon with the Securitas is engaging in while I'm outside minding my business capturing video. Why are you standing behind me aiming your phone on me? All right, like I said, there's nothing normal about their conduct at all. Okay, there's a reason why they engage in what is waging false allegations. There's a reason why they make very specific allegations as to what I'm doing just because I have my phone in my hand. Why do you assume I'm taking a picture of you and I'm not taking a selfie? Or I'm not showing somebody else that I'm on FaceTime with where I'm located? I could be doing anything. There's a reason. I point this out because these are psychopaths. Psychopaths. And I also capture on my podcast and videos so you can see the psychopaths that are the demons flying over me by helicopter, because you need to understand those psychopaths are surrounding, and they're called the people of the state. The same exact condition, the same exact criminal system, the government acting directly and vicariously. These are puppets, and they are absolutely lunatics, okay? Knowing exactly what they're doing and seeking to engage in what is a malicious system. And it's not concealed anymore. I'm totally disrupting that, all right? That is the pattern of conduct, though. It's license 98IB334. Let me give you these license plates of the minions that are monitoring while the entity sounds helicopter activity, and that's why Sean Thrasher's going to federal prison. He can listen while he's group stalking to that. License plate 8JCR856, federal prison. The entity's flying over by helicopter. All right, molesting with Ovid Family Community Library and Securitas. License plate 7DNG916 and license 8YJB928, I believe. The African American female who you seeing in the video yesterday at I'm sorry, that wasn't yesterday, that was the day before yesterday, at the Ovid Family Community Library. She's group stalking, wearing the Securitas uniform. She is group stalking inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, standing in directed light. I've shown you fully the environment that they're stalking in. These demons are tracking my steps. She's standing at the entranceway. This is harassment by an entity as well. This is a hostile demon engaging in what is threatening criminal conduct in concert and on behalf of the state, and doing so literally in your face. This is a communication of a threat by a demon that's engaging in what is monitoring, and her hostility, again, her impunity is fully on display as I capture that video of the fake sun over me at the Ovid Family Community Library at 1:45 p.m. This demon is manning the path while demons are present to engage in what is a molestation as I walk out of the doors. And I'm subject to a molestation while I'm inside of the library. You're looking at what's the impossible light activity in there. So I want to document that. That's the third-party Securitas, this old bag of bones. She's an African-American, monitoring with law enforcement, targeting with law enforcement, an old black woman, a demon-possessed group stalking. Like I said, Satan doesn't have a race. You're dealing with what has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Okay, this old black-faced minion is monitoring a young African-American woman, okay? And doing so because of her condition. This is Satan, and she's nothing but a puppet. But it's very relevant, her condition and her criminal conduct together, because I'm going to prosecute her for terrorism, all right? And license 7UUN561. And these demons are molesting again upon my exit of that venue, and she's standing right there on surveillance cameras, unlawful presence. Again, the government's criminal system is what's surrounding the entity's presence, and it's criminal. Being on the job is absolutely unlawful, where the government's engaging in surveillance and doing so through what is their facilitating presence. And this is an unlawful threat while she's doing so. 6JDW421. And you're going to prosecute for that specific act of impunity, that impermissible threat of that violent sex offender who likes to engage in what is harassment in the bathroom. All right? That's relevant to that sex offender's prosecution too. 7ESC971. 8JTA734. And it's currently 8:51 p.m. And license plate 8LRD600. Ontario Police coming to molest as well. License 1532791. Vehicle 1886. That's a female Latina with her hair all the way back in a bun. She's coming to engage in what is a molestation. She's coming to pose a threat. Let me be clear, the entity's listening. She's group stalking and monitoring and threatening with that demon-possessed third-party Securitas in the Ovid Family Community Library. That same knowledge that they act with is the same intention that you're mindful of when you're prosecuting. The demon-possessed agency of the Ontario Police, they're monitoring together, and that's grounds of federal prison for that minion who's group stalking inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, by the way. 8TOH863, 7NCG760, the 280 North Lemon Apartments, the Ontario Town Square. These third parties whose license plates I'm reciting, the third parties engaging in a molestation as I exit the venue, the third parties who are on surveillance cameras inside of the Ovid Family Community Library where the entity flew over, stalking by helicopter, and the entity is molesting with directed light as I capture on video, which is fully published on my YouTube channel, The Pattern of Conduct. This is relevant to what is Metro 102 Apartments group stalking with the entity that's crossing path at the moment that they are by the Ontario Police. Those psychopaths that are adding on to what is time in federal prison for their own vicarious act of the people of the state. All right, and this is the entity that is engaging in what is prosecuting itself at this point, while they engage in that ongoing concerted activity with specific knowledge, speaking to the malice, speaking to impunity and impermissible threat, directly relevant to what is time in federal prison, where the demon-possessed belong, where they want to target and terrorize an American citizen. All right, that's what's you're cognizant of while the Ontario Police are crossing path at that time while I'm uttering the very sentences that I'm uttering. Securitas, that minion's going to federal prison. 8XMG 980. 30386F3. 8RDW 070. 8TVZ 441. I believe that's, yeah, armed response. A license 5CGX. Hold on, 5CGX 505. 7HPG 161, 7YGS 754, 7VPV 745, BF 45Z23 paper. It's currently 8:53 p.m. Can't see this, hold on. 5WSN075. Molesting. That's the entity hovering over the venue where I'm located and not flying over the museum, by the way. Group stalking by commercial airline planes. The demon possessed, all of them identified by literally their leasing agreements at Metro 102 Apartments. It is 8:54 p.m. License plate 7VJH759 6ARD 667 69234K3 5BHU 306 8TWV 632 8JSV 330 BE29N22 paper 50550Y2 7UTV 767 6LPK 790 7AAV 726 ROB 3KKD 6PXA 523. And they certainly are worthy of prosecution. The entity aiming impossible light activity across their license plates in order that I may more clearly see them. That's impossible light activity while these demons are at the intersection and driving on Hope Boulevard. All right? That is the entity that you are appropriately documenting. Sitting in the middle of the street. Alrighty, this sex offender's license plate for present for a molestation. All right, monitoring with the Ontario Police, 6RBB 691, monitoring with Metro 102 Apartments, monitoring with Ontario Town Square Townhomes, monitoring with the Ontario Police, monitoring with the entity that is using planes from the Ontario Airport to engage in flying over Metro 102. This is all of an entity that's represented by this sex offender sitting in the middle of the street in order to molest. Can I help you? By minion. Still sitting in the middle of the street, staring with the window down, listening to me prosecute it. Again, that sex offender, 6RBB 691. It is currently 8:56 p.m. $8YXS 802, I believe. It's 8:56 p.m. I'm crossing Lemon. I'm at Lemon and Holt Boulevard, and I'm crossing Lemon right now, approaching the opposite side of the street, going toward the museum. That is the state of California group stalking at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. That is, again, my stalker, the state of California. Absolutely pathetic that a government would be engaging in this, and it's also a great dismay, but it is criminal conduct, and it's my duty to report it, and I'm also going to prosecute it. The government is stalking at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is a demon that is operating a helicopter, and Union Pacific is the guise under which ongoing demonic activity is underway. That is amplified audible activity and engineered light. That is, Union Pacific is a sex offender and is engaging in what is terrorism while monitoring in concert with the state of California, flying over me by a helicopter, okay? Using such resources to engage in what is stalking me. It is currently 9:57 p.m. and this is what I've been documenting all day. While I was documenting the government stalking me by helicopter, that government was stalking in the bathroom while that government engaged in criminal defamation because I'm prosecuting the fact that they're stalking me in the bathroom, all right? A very violent sex offender and an entirely demented psychopath that engages in trying to defame the targeted individual while you are obsessively stalking that person. That is one that belongs in a cage, and that's exactly where many, many people affiliated with the California government and the people of the state are going. Okay? Criminal defamation coming out of the mouth of a demon-possessed group stalker that is monitoring with this government that is stalking by helicopter right now. That's exactly what you're doing, and you're entirely pathetic, and I'm also going to prosecute you as a terrorist that you are, an entirely demented one, okay? It's 9:58 p.m., and this is the evidence against those stalkers that I documented in 7-Eleven and up in California, molesting with directed light, group stalking in the 7-Eleven, group stalking on the Omnitrans bus, demons driving the bus, demons getting on and off the bus, directed light, flying all about, molesting my person while this entity is stalking me on public transportation, following me from place to place, following group stalking inside of the Chino Branch Library, directed light, flashing inside, flying about inside, while demons are stalking and stalking in the bathroom on behalf of this government that's stalking me right now by helicopter. This is the evidence, tying all that documentation together, understand what is the pattern of conduct. The pattern of conduct is that which is going to, is ongoing evidence, which shall result in what is the minion wearing the Securitas uniform. She's going to federal prison, okay? She's group stalking inside of the Ovid Family Community Library, and she's group stalking in concert and on behalf of this demon that represents the state of California, who is stalking and monitoring in violation of existing federal law, engaging in what is terrorism in concert with that entity, which she does not have a right to do under the law, under existing law and federal policy that shall also be enforced against that demon-possessed blackface minion, okay, who's monitoring with the Ontario Police Department. Okay, it has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter in California. All right, and if you can't tell, it's so nauseating it makes me want to spit. Satan is pathetic, and I'm going to prosecute it. That's why you're such an obsessed stalker, and I'm exposing that, and I'm also going to prosecute you for it. It's currently 9:59 p.m. This is the government that's stalking me by helicopter at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is P.O.C. I want to document, I just captured video of the entity flying literally over my head by helicopter. Union Pacific is engaging in what is facilitating audible activity creation, just as I documented moments ago. And this is speaking to what is nothing other than ongoing criminal activity that is identified under the name of what is Union Pacific. And the company is engaging in what is an ongoing threat, as I literally just captured the government posing an unlawful threat. Audible activity creation, relevant positioning. This is all manner of facilitation that the company Union Pacific is engaging in. And this is also what is also demonic activity, because it's not even an actual train. The entity is keeping me surrounded with what is basically a soundtrack, okay, while directed light remains, and the sound of a train is just an instant means of chiming in with ongoing noise. While, by the way, it's relevant, the entity is literally threatening my life by flying in circles directly above my head, which I just captured that on video. That is serving for the prosecution of companies and employees of companies, those affiliated with those companies, those in positions that they are to be held accountable for that criminal conduct that an American citizen is subject to while the government's engaging in state surveillance. Let me be clear, Union Pacific is engaging in waging that ongoing threat to the life of an American citizen, and you go to federal prison for that. All right, so that's facilitation that Union Pacific is engaging in, and doing so while the entity is, as I just captured on video, stalking by helicopter, and it's currently 10:13 p.m. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is P.O.C.